Hey everyone, Daniel Perzan here. I just wanted to talk a little bit about this first album, why it exists and what it is, and what it means. So I really thank you guys all for being interested in this project because it means a lot to me and it's a lot of work. One of my biggest compositional influences, David Maslenka, talked a lot about the compositional process and his daily compositional routine. I believe every day from 9 to 11, he would sit in his composition studio and write. No technology, no nothing, just him and his manuscript paper and his piano. And I follow very closely to that. He would often talk about how he played J.S. Bach chorales to warm himself up in his mind, and then he would go into composing. Now, I'm not that good of a pianist that I can play the chorales yet, but I will play like a hymn or something to warm my mind up to harmony and melody and the way that the older counterpoint worked. Another part of my daily composition routine is daily meditation. So every day I will sit behind the piano after I play a hymn to warm myself up, and I will think about a topic, a person, an idea, something that's in my journal. It'll be this larger thing, and I'll just sit and play whatever comes to my mind. And often I will record that, and that's sort of what you hear behind me and throughout this entire album is just me sitting at a piano, and I thought of the phrase that is listed with each of the works. And I meditated on it and played the melodies and harmonies that came to my head in real time. So no, these are not fully fleshed out works, and they're not meant to be. They're just moments in time that I thought of something, and the music came out of me in a way that I'm not even sure how to explain. If you go into this album expecting fully fleshed out works, I think you're going to be disappointed. But if you go into this expecting soundscapes and expecting to hear this atmosphere around you, I think you're going to be decently surprised at what you'll hear in here. I think that this album works best if you see the title and you think on that idea and you keep it in your head and you close your eyes and you listen to the music and let it create an atmosphere around you. Let it move you, let it prod you, let it shape you. I think music's really important that way, is that it doesn't need words for it to be impactful. It just needs the harmony, it needs that melody. There's almost a sensation that burns in your chest, and it moves around in you and you feel it. Another important thing about this album is it's the first real work that I have that's that's after my hospitalization, and that includes stuff before and after it. So I was hospitalized earlier in 2025, and it really sucked. I felt like I didn't really have a place in the world anymore, and that was something that's always haunted me throughout my entire life. And this album is my first steps in moving past that, and you can hear that. This song that I'm playing right now behind me, which is the fourth one on the album, A New Ground Entirely, was the first thing that I played after I got out of the hospital. One of my friends picked me up from the hospital, and he was like, "Where do you want to go?" And I told him, "I want to go to McCrary, and I want to improvise on the piano and just see what comes out." And that fourth song is literally right after I got out of the hospital, and it's one of the most beautiful things that I think I've ever come up with, just because it's so fresh, it's so right there. It feels very lovely, as if I'm in a new place. That's why I called it A New Ground Entirely, because it felt like I ascended in a different way. So there's 3 songs that were done after the hospital and 4 that were done before. So The Sound of Insanity, which is the 3rd one, and the 5th one, That Feeling, both of those were done right before I went into the hospital. The Sound of Insanity was the day before I went into the hospital, and That Feeling was a week before. The 2nd and 6th song on the album were also both done before I went into the hospital. And the first, fourth, and last song on this album were all done post-hospital. The seventh one I think is particularly interesting because it has this darkness to it, but it also moves beyond that in a way that I don't think I could have done if I would have planned to do that. That one, to me, is the most interesting and has the most to say. Each of these songs were chosen. I have hundreds of these improvs. These 7 were chosen for this first improv album because I thought that each of them had a larger story to tell within themselves. And I think that in itself is really interesting, to take these improvs, these moments in musical time, and expand them and show them to a larger audience. Because these are things that I don't think most composers would normally put out. But I want to put it out because I think it's so fundamental to who I am as a composer and what I do. And it backs a lot of my philosophy on composing and music in itself. So I really hope that you enjoy this album and the songs in it. I'm really excited to hear your thoughts and to see the reactions of people whenever it comes out. So thank you so much for supporting me and my music. And I will see you soon with more music. Thank you.